Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me.
Oh, that was it? I thought you were going to go with the
Happy
whole thing.
birthday, dear me. Happy. Hello, everybody! Welcome to another action jam-packed edition of David Lee Madison's End of the Night. I am, of course, your host, David Lee Madison, and right here is my lovely, talented co-host and producer and wonderful stand-up guy, Mr. Joe Ridgely. Joe, how are you today?
I am excellent. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I decided to wear my glasses for the first 5 minutes of the show so people can see that I am sadly old. I am old. As you could see, Ken is wishing me a happy 75th birthday. Ken, you are much too kind. We all know I'm much older than 75. But thank you so much for wishing me a happy birthday. Sean, how are you? Happy birthday from Sean. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you to stop in and say hello. The lovely and super talented Carrie Warner is saying happy birthday. Thank you, Carrie. It's very kind of you to say hello. Oh, CJ, my dear friend. Thank you, CJ. I hope you're well. I seen you guys on the show the other night with Ernie and Troy. It was fantastic, and you guys do some really wonderful stuff on the network here. And that was just a great show the other night. So yes, it's my 936th birthday. I invited some folks on. Who knows if anybody's going to show up, because I don't think anybody actually likes me to begin with. But I invited some folks on to stop by and say hello during the course of this broadcast. Mr. Ridgely, how are you? I know you have a whole bunch of stuff going on with the network, and you had some shows already that aired that were pretty fantastic. What's cooking with you, my friend?
Well, thank you. Yeah. Again, we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre event. What was it? Last weekend, the weekend before, I don't know, but it was spectacular. It had a couple of the alumni from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. They raised almost $10,000 for that event.
Yes, for the Uvalde school shooting, correct?
Thank you for saying that, because
absolutely, I couldn't be prouder of you guys for doing that. It was a horrific and tragic event, and that was fantastic that you guys raised some money, so much money, to help out the folks who were involved with that. I'm very, very proud of you guys.
CJ was a major part of that, and he kind of took charge, so we got to definitely give props to CJ. He was kind of Alan's right-hand man the whole time, so which is Chainsaw Jerry, by the way. What else we have going on? Hey, we've got Phantasm coming up at the end of August. So I will be there at Phantasm. I will be with Terry Gerald's crew, and they're going to have the Hollow Haunt panel. I'll be moderating that, and I'll just be there representing the Indie Escape as well. And then I got another one the week after right in West Palm, so I'm kind of excited. Things are just kind of falling into place.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. I can't wait to hear what happens there. Brandon, thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. Brandon has a big show coming up soon. You want to tell the audience about what's going on with Brandon?
Brandon does. And you know what? I was slacking. Damn it. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Why were you slacking?
Because I should have had that poster ready, and I didn't.
Well, I mean, his next guest is an icon of television and from probably my favorite movie of all time. And I'm super excited to see her on Brandon's show.
And that would be... Oh, damn it. Things never load quick enough when you want them to. There you go. Amanda Burst, Married with Children, and one of Dave's favorite movies, Fright Night.
Yes,
So,
on next Friday, August 5th at 10 p.m. on the Indie Escape Network. Amanda Burst, make sure you check her out on Brandon's show. Brandon does a great show and has absolutely fantastic guests, and I'm super excited that Amanda is going to be on the show. That's something that you guys need to check out. All right, I've said enough. You know, being as old as I am, my show can only last like 10 minutes now because I'm literally out of breath already. And so we only have a few more minutes. I met Chris Sarandon, I think, 2 times. Ken, that couldn't be more useless information, but thank you for sharing it with us. Libby, happy birthday. Thank you, Libby. It's very kind of you to say. The great director, Libby McDermott, wishing me a happy birthday. Kyrie, I was born on August 2nd, 1970, exactly 2 hours apart from Mr. Kevin Smith. We are both 52 years old. So your lovely Scott has 2 Shemps that he has to put up with who were both born on August 2nd, 1970. I'm going to be 52. Isn't that horrifying? I don't think I look 52. I look like I'm 82, actually. But that's neither here nor there. So, you know, it's my big birthday show. I love chewing people's ear off for 10 minutes in the beginning of the show and starting with my stupidity and showing goofy stuff. But I'm sure there are people who want to pop on and say hello and happy birthday to me. Why don't we bring Grunkle Scott Schiaffo on first?
alrighty. Get into the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grunkle Scott Schiaffo. I think I just said that like 8 seconds ago, but I'll do it again.
You just said, let's get Scott Schiaffo on. You didn't say, ladies and gentlemen, you're Scott Schiaffo.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Grunkle Scott Schiaffo. Grunkle Scott, how are you, my dear friend?
Good, happy birthday, you bastard.
Thank you. Can you throw handsome in front of there so could I at least feel a little good about myself?
Well,
Handsome
you're
bastard.
addressing me.
Handsome bastard.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. You're not
I
getting
went.
old. You look good.
I went out to Saratoga and Lake George this weekend, and we went up to the racetrack, and I lost an ample amount of money as I'm a complete and total loser when it comes to playing the ponies. And we laid around like sloths by the lake and ate prime rib at George's, which you actually came to me once, Scott, up in Lake George to that great prime rib restaurant, George's. And if anybody ever is in the Lake George area, check out George's. It's a wonderful, wonderful steakhouse. And we got pancakes at the Lone Bowl, which is fantastic. But enough about my silly gibberish. Mr. Schiaffo, I heard that Kevin had a T-shirt on. Am I right, Joe? Is this what the story is? Okay, so I'm totally I'm in the dark. Go ahead, tell the story that you told us earlier in the green room because it was pretty cool.
Yes, this is the Chulies t-shirt Randall is wearing when he first has a heart attack in the latest Clerks movie. You guys ready for this?
I am ready.
Okay, if anybody's like faint of heart or like offended easily,
If you're offended by dirty jokes, you shouldn't be watching this show anyway. But
turn your head.
turn your head for 30 seconds. Ah, there you go.
So this is the shirt that Randall is wearing. Suck me off and make me gum. Chulies gum sucker. Gum in your mouth.
You know what's kind of horrifying? The fact that probably could be a contemporary product placement T-shirt for contemporary candy, and people wouldn't flinch.
Crazy, man. Crazy stuff.
It
The real
is-
Chulies gum is pretty cool. I didn't know if that was going to actually be a thing. If he was going to make those pops. Ah, yum. Thank you, sweetheart. Well, you know, in the first movie, man, in all the movies, the language gets pretty foul. Marilyn's been dealing with the 37 dicks thing forever. So, I mean, if anybody digs it, they know it gets foul. I just never thought you'd see the Chulies guy associated with something so hardcore like that.
It is funny.
Funny. It is. It's funny.
And there's no interspecial dating involved, so I guess that's always a step. A step. Oh, it was interspecies erotica, I think.
Interspecies
You're right.
erotica, yes. The
Yes.
donkey, Donkey.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you. It's very nice of you to say. So, Joe, if anybody is in the green room and wants to pop on and wish me a happy birthday, let's just pop people on as they come on, so that I don't make anybody wait too long.
Sure. So the first people that showed up, I posted a picture the other day of I got some cups made for the Indie Escape Network. Probably can't really
Nice.
see it too well, but the one wise ass I'm going to bring up right now said, "Oh, you're finally going to retire the Giants Cup." Let's introduce Matt and Libby.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, happy birthday!
Thank you so much. How's my favorite couple doing? And Matt, I see you're representing with the cool shirt on. I'm very, very impressed.
And Matt didn't hit the delete button in time.
Libby, what's your shirt say? Love?
Love heals everybody.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Nice.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, wonderful.
If you don't know, this lovely couple are an amazing duo of filmmakers, and I was honored and privileged to be in their great movie Darkness Waits, which is on almost every streaming platform. If you're watching tonight, please check it out on Tubi, or is it on Amazon?
Yeah,
Amazon,
Tubi's-
right?
But
Tubi's check it out on Tubi.
Tubi's the moneymaker. Come on, Tubi.
Tubi's
Yeah.
great.
Tubi or the Roku channel. Either way,
Yeah,
you can't
Roku.
go wrong.
Yeah.
So, how are you guys? I was actually, you guys haven't been on. I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I went down to southern Pennsylvania, and I got to shoot a wonderful scene with these two amazingly talented people. And poor Matt, I had to brutalize. I don't know if he's still talking to me, because this poor bastard had to go through a lot of nasty werewolf attack shit. Matt, do you still like me? Are we still friends?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
I don't even think you were sore.
Is that well?
If anything, it like loosened my back up a little bit.
I should open up a werewolf chiropractic
What kind of
office.
movie is this?
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, he was a great sport, because this poor bastard gets violently attacked by the werewolf in the film, and he was a real trooper and a real champ, because he had to do some really, really obnoxious things to make the scene work. But it all came out absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited about how it's actually the opening scene of the movie. These guys are the very first for the very
All right,
first.
so everybody forget this by the time this comes out in October.
Oh yeah, nobody's gonna, like, the 3 people are watching it is gonna remember. It's really was just absolutely fantastic, and they did a wonderful job. And I was absolutely honored to work with you guys and with the legendary Jim Crutt all that night. We had just a wonderful time. And Libby, oh my God, I didn't know that Libby didn't know that she had the acting chops that she did. She pulled out a performance that absolutely gave me goosebumps. I went back when we were shooting it. I was like, "Whoa, she's really fucking good." But
You said I didn't know you were an actress.
no, I didn't. I thought you were more of a behind the camera person. Honestly, I didn't mean anything disrespectful.
that's
But
I have
apparently,
been hiding behind the camera, but it was definitely my first love was performance.
either that or you love that big lummox sitting next to you, and seeing him brutally attacked by a werewolf was kind of like, well, that kind of sucks. But
It was super fun. You made me feel totally safe. That's a big thing for me. And you kept checking on me. I did have to go to some dark places for myself just to try to give you what you needed, fear-wise and emotion-wise and all that. And yeah, it was. But
no, I mean, I went back, and as you know, I was so excited. I got home at like 4:00 in the morning because we shot till really late. And I actually drove home, and I got up the next morning at 8:30, and I put a very, very rough cut of the scene together, just so you guys could get an idea of what we did. And I was totally blown away at how wonderful it was and how awesome you guys were. So
it was super fun. And then to be on a platform and a stage with everybody else that you've put in the movie too is spectacular.
yes, there are some big surprises that aren't out there in the public yet that you guys know. So you will, when Full Moon Fever comes out, you guys will be surprised at some of the iconic people who show up in that film. Joe, is there anybody else in the green room? Because I really would like to, get everybody together in like a warped, frustrated Brady Bunch kind of way, and then we'll all kind of say hello to each other.
Oh, okay. The next person who showed up, are you familiar with a young lady named Patty?
Oh, I am. Was she from my favorite TV show of all time?
I believe she is.
Ah, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, one of a fine actress and quickly becoming a dear friend of mine, and from my favorite TV show of all time, Miss Patty Tippo. Hi, Patty.
Hi, hi.
Thank-
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much for stopping on and saying hello to me. It was an absolute honor to have you on the show a couple weeks again.
What a treat. It's so great to see you guys again. We had so much fun last time. I thought
You are absolutely awesome, and to have you come on and say happy birthday to me, it's actually giving me people bumps because I don't know any goose.
Aw.
But it was very, very kind of you to come on the first time, and it's exceedingly kind to come on this time because I'm a big buffoon, and the fact that you would come on and say happy birthday to me makes me...
my gosh, of course. It's exciting. 52, you made it. Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations. And it sounds like from what I'm hearing is that, can I be a werewolf?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You just have to. You just have to come up to Pennsylvania. That's the only. That's
And
the
bring
only
my
negative
werewolf
price.
outfit so
Yeah.
you can for me.
Patty, I don't know. Matt and Libby, you are young filmmakers from Pennsylvania. They did a wonderful movie called Darkness Waits, which we made about 2 years ago. Scott and I were in it, and it was the late great Conrad Brooks's last film. Conrad Brooks, of course, is from all the great Ed Wood films, and was just an iconic filmmaker. And we had a wonderful time making that film. And these guys are very, very super talented.
That's so cool. Now, I wasn't clear on who was the werewolf. David, were you the werewolf?
I am.
Was everyone? I don't get it.
In the movie, the werewolf that eats Matt is not me. It's the werewolf who ultimately gets
Spoiler.
me. Right. Yeah. But no. I sadly am the victim of the werewolf in the beginning of the film, and in the film most of the film takes place of when I get ill between.
Oh my God, that's fantastic!
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah, the transformation scene's pretty sick, and we had a good time making it. And the film is really a study of how a man who recently lost his wife to COVID and a daughter who went off to college is now dealing with what he thinks is a severe case of COVID, but sadly he is slowly turning into a werewolf because he gets bitten in the beginning of the film, which he thinks is just a giant rabid dog. But
That's fantastic. I love that. I love incorporating COVID. That's great.
Well, yeah. Well, we shot it during COVID, and so and a lot of we have some really really wonderful cameos of some pretty heavy hitters who agreed to do it for me, but we shot it in the middle of COVID, so they literally have masks on, so it's kind of funny actually.
That's brilliant.
Yes, yeah. So I'm like, hey, I swear that's so and so under there. You have to take my word for that. No spoilers, Dave. No more spoilers. That's pretty much.
Luciana, by the way,
Yeah.
who is
Great.
the no face.
That essentially is everything I said is you'll probably see in the first trailer, and there's a lot more surprises that.
So Matt and Libby, so is the film out? You said it's on. You have another film. That's
the one that we made called Darkness Waits is available on Tubi,
Okay.
and that David and Scott are both in that as well.
Oh, okay, great. But the werewolf thing is yet to come out.
Yeah, that comes out in
Okay, I
theaters this
understand now.
October.
I get it. Okay.
And Patty, why we plug Tubi is because as independent filmmakers, one of the best platforms that pays us, the independent filmmakers, the best royalties is Tubi. So we are very supportive of them because they take a lot of independent films and they actually, unlike a lot of the bigger networks, actually take care of the independent filmmakers because they pay us on every time somebody watches the film. They
That's
play
great.
commercials. and you actually get to see something as a filmmaker. So they're pretty awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad to know that, because just these days, everybody's pay is just going down, 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 down.
Yeah.
You're a humongous star, but so it's good to know that there's a platform that is actually willing to pony up.
Yep, take care of the independent filmmakers.
Yep.
It's like sadly in Hollywood, you're either at the very top or you're everybody else, and it's pretty much if you're not looking to make art, which a lot of indie filmmakers are, and it's not really about the money, but there are people who are in it to try and make some cash
and survive a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe be able to buy Taco Bell or something.
Yeah.
Joe, do we have anybody else in the green room? Because I don't want to keep anybody waiting.
We do. We have one more person.
Ah.
And, do you want to introduce him? Did I send you?
Yes. Our next guest is literally becoming the next Robert Englund, one of the biggest horror icons of 2021 and 2022. He plays the Terrifier. You see his T-shirts and his posters everywhere. He's literally becoming a superstar as we watch him grow, and he's a dear friend of this show, Mr. David Howard Thornton.
Yes, and we're all excited for Terrifier 2 in October.
Yes.
Very much.
Yes.
Happy birthday, you old fart.
Thank you very much. It's very kind. It's very kind of you to say.
You can't have fart without art, so there you go. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Did you guys drop the Terrifier 2 trailer?
Well, I think we're about to. I just saw the one of the final cuts of it and everything. I think right now they're trying to square away the actual release date before they release the new trailer and everything like that. So it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I thought I saw on Uncle Creepy's page that they were working on that still.
Yeah, it looks good. It has that nice like 1980s vibe to like the trailer, which I like. So I'm excited.
You know what's the greatest thing about you, Dave? Dave, it is clear that you are taking off to another level, and that that film series is absolutely has a life of its own, is becoming enormous. And the fact that you I see with your fans and with your friends and everybody who's around you, you still stay so grounded and so kind to everybody. That's very commendable, because a lot of people I see taste some success and have something really hit it like you have with art, and become, for lack of a better word, total assholes. I mean, look at Scott when Clerks came out. His head was so big. I wanted to write Goodyear on the side. But the fact that you actually are such a sweet and kind guy speaks volumes, and that's probably why you're going to be an enormous success, Dave, because you really understand what this is about.
Here's hoping, man. Who knows? You gotta, I live in fear of my mom coming back from the grave and bitch slapping me if I ever became anything other than who I am, who she raised me to be. So if you knew my mom, that's a real threat. So
she's scarier than art.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she could be. Strong-willed Southern woman, so you don't want to mess with those.
The cool thing about David is when a majority of the conventions that they go to, he actually dresses up as art. And yeah, so I mean, the photo ops are just phenomenal, and you guys really get into it too.
Oh yeah, I have fun. I don't do the typical just point to the other person photo ops that I've seen so many other people do. I can't do that. I got to keep it fresh and fun, because I'll get bored. And it's like once I start getting bored, it's going to become like just the same old. I can't do that to people when they're paying all that kind of money for a photo op. It's just like you got to have fun with it. So I like to keep it fresh. I love it when people come in with their own props and ideas, and that's always fun for me, because it's like it takes the pressure off of me to come up with new ideas.
You'd be surprised how many pictures are there with people doing handstands and their legs.
Yeah, yeah. I've had to almost hold up a few dresses that way. I'm like, oh no. So, gravity. You got to remember gravity.
Hey, if you guys have seen the movie, you know what we're referring to. So
yeah.
Yes. No, I mean, seriously, it always overly impresses me how kind you are. If I ask you to come on my show, you pop right on. I had a wonderful idea for you and Brian O'Halloran to do up in. We're going to get around to sooner or later. It's going to be pretty fantastic.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yep, and you're just a great guy, Dave. Are you? I think you're significantly younger than I am, but back in the
Not
'80s, and
significantly, I'm like 10 years younger than you.
do you remember the TV show Sledgehammer by any chance?
Yes, of course.
Patty was on. Yeah, Patty was on Sledgehammer,
Really?
my favorite
Oh,
show
my
of all
God.
time.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
but don't
so
hurt
funny.
Yeah,
I
I'm a
didn't know
Sledgehammer
that-
fan
I
also.
just thought it was like 5-year-olds and 85-year-olds that liked it.
I was about
I
5
didn't-
at the time, so yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I love
And
it.
Matt, what did you say? I heard you.
But I'm a
just-
Sledgehammer fan as well.
Matt wasn't Sledgehammer like the greatest? I mean, everything. And Patty, you were, even though you were not in every episode, you were in more than a handful, but you were
I
fantastic.
worked on it for a couple of years, actually.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just
awesome.
a great show. And we got to get Alan to get that show made into, it would be so easy for Alan to get that show made into a small budgeted, kind of like what they did with Naked Gun. And I think it would shock the world how well it would do because it was just such a wonderful show.
I know.
I think it was really ahead of its time in a lot of ways.
Oh, and JW says David is 5 years old at heart. I thought he was going to say, you know what I love? One of the main reasons why I have you on, Dave, is when people insult me and put David, I could always in my head make believe it's you that they're picking
Oh
on.
yeah, either way it works. I mean,
Yes,
'cause
yeah.
I am 5 at heart, sir. So that's so true. It's so sad. I still watch a lot of cartoons and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
Hello,
Yeah.
Amy.
What's up? Amy, how are you? I know that we have another guest in the green room, and without further ado, this man, who's literally a horror icon, because the scene in the Romero film he did is usually voted the #1 scene in horror films, and he's just an absolutely wonderful guy, and he's a champion of the Ukraine, and actually somebody I looked up to at 6'7", which is kind of horrifying. Somebody I look up to as a hero and as a father figure, and is just a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the iconic Mr. Jim Crut. Jim, how are you, my dear friend?
What an introduction, and happy birthday, my friend. Happy
Thank-
birthday. May you have much mirth today.
On your birth.
I don't know what that means. At least you didn't say Happy Girth Day, which would probably fit the bill a lot better.
That's after all the cake. Yeah.
Yes. Because sadly, my biggest dream in life is to be able to see my feet again. That would be fantastic. And I have size 15, so that's kind of horrific. Jim, how are you, my dear friend?
Hey, doing terrific. Doing terrific. I'm
For those who...
I'm wearing an old shirt that I once used for a what do you call it? A reenactment for Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, Dawn of the Dead.
And finally got all the gook out of it and cleaned it up in case I ever have to do that again. So yeah, I thought I'd try this on. And I realized when we got it, it was like 2 sizes too big. And I thought, makes me think I'm losing weight. Well, it makes other people think I'm losing weight. So that's good.
Well, I don't mean to bring the show down or anything, but Jim, how's all the family in Ukraine? Everything good?
I have one grandson, or one of my cousins has a grandson who's in the fighting in the East. I got a couple messages today with what they're doing in the western part, and they are definitely keeping the spirits up. One cousin showed me pictures from a play that they're doing in the town called Yaroslav the Wise. And the kids are in costumes and they're doing this historical drama. And her daughter is singing in a couple parts of it. And she sent that to me. And I don't know, I was just kind of both torn up and blown away. And I thought, I just sent her a note back and said, it's really important to try to establish some normalcy and keep that history going too, because the history goes back 1,000 years or so. And so far it's still kind of tough. They have like auctions and they do contributions to raise money to buy cars and vans so that people can carry supplies to the east. I mean, it's not like, gee, here's an organized army. It's like people from the town are fighting, so they're going to go and supply those people with food and binoculars, armor, whatever they need. So it's just so gratifying to see the support that they have, for their sons and grandsons and fathers. The cousins I had, one went to Poland, one went to Czech Republic, both of them women with their 2 children each. Their husbands could not leave the country, and their parents didn't want to leave, but now they're back home. And, I see them standing in the wheat fields, and they're, kind of celebrating parts of harvesting at this point. So there's some normalcy going on in the East, whereas in the West, it's just, terrible news, and we don't really have a lot of intricate details other than what you might see on television. But we certainly keep them in our thoughts, keep them in our prayers, and we try to stay in touch with them. And thanks for asking, and please keep them in mind every once in a while.
No, absolutely. Our hearts go out to everybody in Ukraine. It's horrific what's going on there. The loss of humanity is sickening. And of course, we send much love to you and your family, of course, Jim. And we hope everybody gets out and everything ends there peacefully, so that that beautiful country can start to thrive again. It's a weird day because we're here celebrating me getting closer to death, of course, and but sadly Nichelle Nichols passed away today. Lieutenant
And
Uhura.
Pat Carroll.
Yeah.
And Pat Carroll. Okay, yes, she's Ursula, right, from Little Mermaid, and the great and legendary one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Bill Russell, also passed away. So our deepest condolences to everybody out there who loved Nichelle Nichols, who was honored to meet at very many conventions, and was just an absolutely kind and sweethearted woman, and the impact that she left on pop culture and society is something that will never ever change. I think. Am I mistaken, or was she involved in the first interracial kiss? Was Captain Kirk and Uhura the first interracial kiss?
I think so. Yes.
It's got to be one of the first, that's for sure, because at that time, she might have been one of, you probably count on one hand the amount of black women on TV.
Yep, and she was is that Luciana?
Yes.
Yeah, Luciana says she was a sassy woman. She's loved. And you know what's sad? Because today on Facebook, if you scroll through your Facebook, everybody is commenting on her passing. And you kind of hope that in life she knew how impactful and how much she was loved by everybody. So, I don't know, maybe in life we should tell these people how awesome they are while they're still here, so that they know that that they're loved. And I just want to say,
You're awesome, by the way. David, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
You all are awesome.
All
Yeah,
you're really awesome too. You're pretty awesome.
Hey, it's Pick on Scott Day instead of Pick on Dave Day. It must be my birthday.
Hey, on a lighter note, it's an official party when the helicopter zombie shows up.
Yes.
Bless you, my children.
It's very funny because I've been blessed to work with some great actors. But when I went down to shoot with Jim recently, I was almost overtaken with emotion, because when you actually get to work with somebody that you really, really admire as a human being, it might mean more as a filmmaker to work with somebody you admire them as a human being. Not to mention that Jim is extraordinarily talented, but he's such a good human being and such a kind soul, and so many people look up to him in the indie community, and so many look up to him in the horror community. That's also because he's like 7 feet tall. That's beside the point. But so many people look up to him because he's such a kind spirit, and so it's easy to see in this business, and everybody on the screen, honestly, who all have had some wonderful successes, all are humble, and they're kind, and they're willing to spend their time with people, share their knowledge, share their thoughts, and that's really what this community needs as an artistic community, because sadly, film and television and the arts are becoming more of a commercial business than it is becoming an artistic business. And when people realize that it's more of a community about learning from each other and doing wonderfully artistic things and keeping each other entertained is really what the key to the community is, and not the financial states. But what the hell do I know? I'm an old senile guy who's just losing his hair, I guess.
Well, you're a heck of a director too, David. And I have to say, I don't know if you can juggle balls, but you could sure juggle everything from lighting to cameras to people.
Yes,
and
yes.
put a film together, buddy. Because and you know the piece we shot. Can we mention Full Moon Fever?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. And I've got to say, working with Matt and Libby on that, and being able to see them, oh man, I think people are just going to love it. They were just so beautiful together. I mean, they are still beautiful together.
Oh, you're
But,
sweet.
it was really fun working with them in that way, and I appreciated the latitude you gave everybody to you know, go whatever direction and kind of bring it home.
Yeah, sadly, it's the sign of a terrible director. It's called trolling, but you know. No, to be honest with you, when you work with extraordinarily talented actors and actresses, you sometimes want to give them the ability to stretch their wings and not always work on to what's the letter of the paper, because sometimes the writing isn't as good as the performer is, and sadly, when I write this shit, it's usually the case. But it's just fantastic. You know, it's funny. I don't know what the hell I was going to say. Joe, is J.W. Caldwell available? Does he want to pop on? No? You sent me a note, and the guy's not here. You make me look like a schmuck.
No, I
Well, while we're on the
asked you.
subject of your directing, Libby said it earlier. I was so comfortable, and I know you really, really, really well now, but I was so comfortable. It was really easy to go to really sensitive, dark places for the time we spent together shooting that scene with your doctor friend. I hope I'm not giving too much away, but
Thus, you play Lawrence Talbot, which is a loving ode to the original Lon Chaney character in the Universal Wolfman film. So that's pretty cool. I also think that the Quaaludes and the Coke I provide also help, but that's totally neither here nor there.
No, wait a minute. Which is that? This scene?
Ah, yes.
Look at
That's
that.
phenomenal.
Yes, in this scene, Scott Schiaffo, Dr. Lawrence Talbot, portrayed by Scott Schiaffo, is clearly constipated in that scene.
You're saying
saying,
that was
I-
him?
And here,
need more blow. I need more blow.
and there I am saying, sadly, Scott, you started to snort the coffee cake, so we're totally out of it. You see it in his beard there, oddly enough. It's literally in his beard.
I'm still gonna get fired.
Between that and showing that crazy gum pop.
Patty, I have to ask you a question because you're such a sweet, low-key kind of person. Have you ever seen the Clerks films?
I saw a piece of it. I didn't see the whole thing. So I don't know the trilogy. I don't know much about it.
You have to see one night when you're feeling masochistic, sit back and watch both Clerks 1 and 2.
Okay, I'll do it.
All kidding aside, there's a reason why they're, probably the biggest comedy in history as far as independent cinema goes, because they really capture the everyman kind of humor and working man humor that's really, really fantastically funny.
I look forward to it. You told me to watch something else, and I watched it. What was it? I don't.
Was it
really-
Spontaneous? Did you watch Spontaneous?
I watched Spontaneous.
Oh my gosh, that movie.
Oh, Dave, did you ever see Spontaneous?
Oh yeah, I watched it on a flight back from a convention. I was laughing my ass off. People looking at me like, "What?" Especially with the body exploding inside the hazmat suit.
Yes, yes. Oh
I
my God.
died. That was
Yes.
great. I was like, that was such well done practical effects in that movie.
It was
You know, it's
so
a-
good.
You know what's weird about that movie? It has so much to say. There is so much political commentary in that movie.
Yes.
The- that literally goes over everybody's head, and that movie is so good, but nobody, and I mean nobody, knows about that film.
I know,
And
it's so sad, so good. Oh, I found out about that because my manager had watched it on a flight by mistake. Because he usually doesn't, even though he represents me for horror stuff, he usually doesn't watch a lot of horror movies. And Pop's like, "Oh my gosh, you got to see this movie. You're going to love it." And so I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it on the flight back."
Joe,
Now I'll watch the flight now. This
it's absolutely is wonderful. Is JW around? Because I know he wants to say hello to everybody.
He appears to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite television personalities. I met him, I don't know, when I was promoting Mr. Hush probably 10, 12 years ago. He was on the NBC affiliate in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. He's just one of the most knowledgeable film guys I know. Awesome critic. Always pans my stuff because he's a smart guy. Mr. J.W. Caldwell.
No,
JW.
no, I gotta correct you again. And now he is part of the Indie Escape Network.
Oh, and now a part.
Generation
I'm
movie.
sorry, I'm not the big whore you are, Joe. I'm much less of a whore than you are. I'm part of the Indie Escape Network, Mr. J.W. Caldwell. J.W., how are you, my friend?
I'm good, just whoring on a Sunday night. Doing what I can, making a buck, making everybody happy.
Gotta make it rain.
Happy birthday, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. He was actually known as the movie guy in Northeast Pennsylvania because he's just a...
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good gig. Got to meet cool people. You were on with oh my God, his name escapes me, but you were on
Halloran?
Mr. Hush.
Oh, no, I was with Steve Dash, the late,
Yeah,
great Steve Dash, who was,
yes,
of course, the
very cool.
very first Jason Voorhees. And then I came on with Brian O'Halloran, I came on with Kane Hodder, and there was a whole bunch of people we...
Yeah, O'Halloran signed my. I brought a Death Star ornament that I still have in my house, in my possession. So it was
And you know
all-
what's
all
great?
about-
He only charged you 50% of what he charges people at
it was-
conventions. He was wonderful. He was a wonderful guy.
Well, it was 75, but I was happy with it. You got good gig going on tonight. Yeah. You were asking questions about Nichelle Nichols. It was the first interracial kiss, but
Okay.
they did write it. They wrote it so that the aliens forced them to do it, so they could get past any controversy.
Okay.
So, which is just, when you think about it, silliness. Also, she was going to give up the gig because of all the controversy about it. But Martin Luther King Jr. talked to her personally and said, "Stay where you're at. You don't realize how important you are for the next generation of African American females. Please stay on the show," because he watched it religiously. So he talked her into staying, which is one of the great stories that you never really you hear about it, but you're like blown away by the power of a little sci-fi show on NBC.
No,
Amazing.
I mean, and it actually touched me deeply when I saw the response of how people are reacting to her loss, because she touched so many people. She was so important, so iconic.
It was a double pioneer day. We lost, sports world lost Bill Russell too, so very profound, pop culture and also sports loss today with regards to racial injustice and people who are ahead of their times and playing in places. He played in Boston his entire career, which isn't the happiest environment for an African American ball player at the time. So both of them are incredible. But you got quite a gaggle of folks tonight. You got helicopter zombies and crazy clowns and people from classic shows, and people make independent movies very well. And the Chuli's Gum guy. You are on fire tonight.
Well, thank you very much, JW. I want to ask you, because I think we're pretty close in age. Were you a fan of Sledgehammer?
I watched Sledgehammer a lot. I thought it was a precursor. Like, in many ways, that show is both a child of and precursor to a lot of the Zaz stuff, the Zucker Abrams Zucker stuff.
Right.
So it's one of those great shows where when you're a kid. I think it was on Friday nights.
Yep.
It was a Friday night thing where you were watching every Friday night because you were trying to get away with what you were watching.
Actually, I think it was Thursday night against Cosby.
Was it?
Yeah, it was definitely on against Cosby, because that's why I
It was Thursday. It was definitely Thursday night then.
Yep. And ABC was just, and then the second season in their Infinite Wisdom, they put it on against Miami Vice, as I recall. So,
Bastards.
JW, I'm one of those people who think that Sledgehammer should be rebooted like they did with Naked Gun, and do a motion picture, because
He would have to sign on, because right now, the way reboots are going, rebootquels or whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to call them, the way they're going is you need that dash of classic stars. You need the classic stars to be part of it in some way.
Right.
You can't just do a reboot and expect it to actually
Patty
take
will be
off.
part of it. Wouldn't you?
I'm sure.
What'd you say, Scott? I didn't hear you.
I said Patty would be part of it, I'm sure.
Oh,
Well, I don't know.
I wouldn't watch it without Patty.
Old Officer Daly.
You got to teach the new generation all the tricks.
You could be Desk Sergeant Daly.
1 week
Yeah.
to retirement.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to write it yourself. You got to will it into existence.
Yep.
Well, you know what? At the end of every show, I say something, and I totally mean it. And you guys are the reason why I say it at the end of every show. No man is a failure who has friends. And I want to thank you. And I'm not wrapping the show up by any means. But sadly, in my house, my birthday is called Passover, because it's just it doesn't exist. But the fact that you guys come on here and are kind enough to spend some time with me, it really means the absolute world to me. I was blessed to work with many of you, and I can't wait to work with Patty and Dave in the future, because you guys are just absolutely awesome. I'd be totally honored. But I always say no man's a failure who has friends. I think I just said that again. It's what happens when you get old and senile. You start repeating yourself. Soon I'll have that little piece of dry spittle in the corner of my mouth. I got all these wonderful things to look forward to. But
It's a snack for later.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him a teleprompter.
Does everybody know what it's from? These are all your friends. I know what it's from.
Okay.
Does everybody who
Well, I'm sure Scott and Joe knows what it's from, because I
they
say
definitely
it
know
every-
what it's from, because they've been indoctrinated. So yes, they know.
Patty, do you know what that line's from?
No.
No man is a failure who has friends.
Matt and Libby, how about you guys?
Okay.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about spittle.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure there was
almost
some
thought
spittle
that's
in
what
It's a Wonderful
about
Life.
too.
There's definitely spittle in It's a Wonderful Life. I think Clarence, lots of it, but that's judgmental.
Spitting in my face. Just not very nice.
Doing that. Get away from me. I want to get to the movie theater. Leave me alone.
But you need a bib.
Over 30 years ago, when I was first dating my wife, and when I was first courting her, I used to say very, very, very dirty and perverted things to her in a Jimmy Stewart voice. And the fact that she still married me and is still with me to this day, it's kind of horrifying when you think about it. But just think of that great Jimmy Stewart voice saying really, really rude things that I can never, ever in a million years say in the presence of ladies like Libby and Patty and Scott. But I love you, Scott. It's funny.
In case we want to renew our vows in your original comments that we could maybe interject from time to time.
Who knew the viability of a dirty Jimmy Stewart dialogue?
Oh man,
there's got to be somewhere.
Harvey did an old stand-up bit with that in Katharine Hepburn or something like that. Wow, that was a pleasurable sensation. Yeah.
If I ever make the Jimmy Stewart biopic, I know who I'm calling.
Yeah, right. I would be happy to.
That was fantastic.
You got the look. That would work.
Mm-hmm.
No, he does.
Totally do it. You want to see my friend Harvey over here?
Is that what we're calling him these days?
Yeah. So hello, Harvey.
JW, you probably would know the answer to this, but wasn't Jimmy Stewart one of the first actors to have multiple Academy Award wins?
Was it Stewart?
Because I remember when Hanks was getting his third or fourth They were saying like that rivals Jimmy Stewart, but I don't know.
Well, Jimmy Stewart, yes, but the person that's always got them like that they talk about it the most is Spencer Tracy, right? Spencer Tracy like was going through the 30s and 40s, just kind of, and 50s, just laying waste all the way up until like 68 when he, for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. So he goes through almost like 30 years where he's in almost all the big movies, Boys Town, Old Man in the Sea, so many things where he's just kind of like just churning them out, and they're also very important movies, and they're he was the one, I think. Jimmy Stewart gets a lot of press, but he's not like, he's more iconic than he is necessarily always viewed as the best actor, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I actually think that he probably is one of the most versatile and one of the greatest. Look at this amazing group of people. Haven for Heroes. If anybody's in the Port Jervis area in northern New York, stop into Haven for Heroes. See Emmett. Emmett's a great guy. You know what's great about Emmett, guys? He has, Port Jervis is a little town in Orange County, New York. That's not the greatest of places. They've had some problems. And Emmett opened a store called Haven for Heroes, in which all the kids now go there, and all the teens, they hang out there and they play Magic the Gathering and all these cards. And he brought everybody to one place where they're all having a good time and doing good, clean, fun things. And literally the town has turned around because of this guy. Emmett, you're a great guy. Your store, Haven for Heroes in Port Jervis, is a great place. And we applaud you for doing wonderful things there. You're just an outstanding
Port Jervis is like right out of Monticello, New York, like right there.
Yeah, it's up in the corner where New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania meet. It's back in the 40s and 50s. It was a coal town. It was a very, very rich town. Bless you.
Excuse me. I tried to hide.
You even sneeze sexy. It's impossible. But yeah, Port Jervis was a wonderful, thriving coal town in the 40s and 50s, and then see some hard times, and but it's really actually still a beautiful, beautiful town. And because of guys like Emmett, who does wonderful things for the neighborhood kids, he deserves all the accolades that we could throw at him. He's just a wonderful guy. So I was going to say, it's fun. The funny thing about It's a Wonderful Life, JW, is that at the time it was a flop in the theaters.
It didn't do well.
Yeah, and most people, it didn't even receive good reviews. People just generally didn't like it, which was kind of horrifying. But
that's a great point. And actually, Joe knows this because he watches my show every week. We do a show called Generation Movie, me and Rich Trees, which is all about looking at old movies and kind of going through the entire thing, how they're produced, how they're received box office, how they're received by critics, and what their legacy is. We're doing the summer of '82 right now, and two of the greatest movies of all time. I know you don't like The Thing, but I'm going to say it. The Thing by John Carpenter and Blade Runner are two of the movies that bombed. They tanked at the box office. Absolutely tanked. And now 40 years later, they're widely regarded as, the top of the pyramid with regards to sci-fi films. So it's very common. Like It's a Wonderful Life caught on because it was played every year on television. And actually, do you remember when you were a kid? Because you and I are around the same age. Remember every year going home and waiting for the Easter showing of The Wizard of Oz?
Oh,
yes.
Like it would be in the TV guide, and like you'd get the TV guide, and like, oh, it's Wizard of Oz week, and you had to be home on a Sunday night. And you had to make sure you had everything ready at like 8:00 when it started, and they ran it with no commercials, and it was like an event every year. I mean, that's how old we are.
It's funny because when I was a kid,
really that we're that old now.
We on Christmas Eve, you would live to watch the WPIX Yule log where I lived, which was 48 hours of continuous Christmas music. After listening to 48 hours of Bing Crosby, I was looking for children to beat, but it was fantastic. But and then Thanksgiving, it was the weirdest thing. When we grew up in New York City, you watched King Kong and Mighty Joe Young every Thanksgiving on
and the March of the Wooden Soldiers.
And the March of the Wooden Soldiers. And so it's the weird things that you connect to these
Laurel
times.
And Hardy.
It was a great film. And just outstanding.
I know my mom tried to bootleg it.
What'd she try to bootleg?
The Wizard of Oz. Record it record it from the TV.
Oh,
We had-
everybody did that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we had like
Your
half.
mom was fine.
It was totally
Everybody did that.
snowed.
It depends on how committed was she. Did she get up and press the pause button for every commercial, or did she just let the commercials record?
I think the commercials and everything just are in there.
Well, that's more fun now to go back and watch those old commercials, though. So
You know,
It's a thing. It's a real big thing right now.
yeah,
Same
the
channel.
entire, YouTube channels just airing old commercials.
And the starts of kid shows.
Yep.
Like I happened upon something yesterday. It was a kid show. It was called Kid Video.
Yes.
One of the most ridiculous shows ever put on television. Just about a bunch of kids who are like fighting a guy in a big city, and it starts out live action and becomes like they get sucked into an animated place where they have to play music to survive. Like and the opening is just this ridiculous thing where they're all in a bubble and they're like they travel into the animated world and they become animated.
And David, you are now the center square.
Oh,
there you go. You have Paul Lindy.
I'll take David for the block, please. I'll take David for the block. Thank
you
you.
got the square.
Not quite sure what happened to Patty, but
I think she sneezed herself right off the network.
She was hitting mute,
that's
and then all of a
not
sudden
good.
things went haywire.
Oh boy.
It was absolutely awesome. If she doesn't pop back on, I want to thank Patty for stopping on my show. She's literally fantastic. She's done so many amazing things with her career on both film, television, Broadway. It was thank you, Patty, for stopping on. Of course, if you're popping back on again, we'll say goodbye to you properly. But thank you so much for stopping on.
He's Paul Lind. I'm putting in for Richard Dawson. I just want to say, I feel I can be smug and kiss all the ladies.
I guess I'm Charles Nelson O'Reilly.
Such a dirty pervert.
That makes somebody's got to be Brett Summer. Okay, she was great.
Who was the one that was married to Jack Klugman? She was on all those shows. I don't remember her name. She was really funny, and she was married to Jack Klugman. She had a
It
very,
wasn't
very...
Brett Summer because Brett Summer wasn't really interested in marriage. So
No, it was...
there was a bunch of them that weren't interested in certain things, and it was like, and then later on, it's like, oh, okay, we're good.
Like Paul Lind.
Still funny, still love him.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I love his Halloween special. That is one of the funniest things.
I think Matt left to go find Patty. No. What was it, Paul? Did you say Paul Indy had a Halloween special?
Yeah, his Halloween special has Witchy Poo and and Margaret Hamilton is Wicked Witch of the West on there. It's just like he does all these.
It's an odd variety show kind of thing.
So crazy. There's like this whole number he does is he dreams of being a truck driver. It's oh, I can get all the women. It's so funny. It's like, oh yeah, you're not fooling anybody, Paul.
He was married to Brett Summers. Okay.
There you go.
Is that who you didn't say her? Did you?
I did say Brett, but I didn't think she was. I didn't think she was married to Jack Klugman.
That's why, for some reason, it was clicking. Jeffrey Weissman wishes me a happy birthday. Great star of Back to the Future 2. Thank you, Jeffrey. It's very kind of you. I hope you are well, my friend, and I hope to see you soon. With that being said, I want to thank you guys all so very, very much for joining me to wish me a happy birthday. It makes this old sap feel wonderful to see his dear friends puts a smile on my face. I can now return to my cubby hole and hide for the next. Now Jeffrey's saying I suck. Well, shucks. Thanks you.
Okay, you got to get your eyesight checked.
Oh boy.
So I'll be the first ballot because you got a bunch of talented people here. But I will say to you, instead of the all men have friends line, I will say, when in fact history becomes legend or legend becomes history, print the legend, which is my favorite Jimmy Stewart's line.
That's a great
line.
Next
week you can try to tell everybody where it came from. You can look it up and find it. But it's good stuff. It's my favorite Jimmy Stewart line.
Thank you, JW. Where can people find you? When's your show on, and where can people find you?
We're on Wednesday nights at 10. Generation Movie, not Generation X, Y, or Z. Generation Movie. Me and Rich Greaves, every week we do a deep dive. This week is An Officer and a Gentleman because we're doing the Summer '82, and then we're going to do a bunch of things, other movies, maybe even stars in the future. And it's a lot of fun. We do the whole thing.
That is on the Indie Escape Network.
Yes,
Yes.
the Indians came out. I'm so sorry.
The voice of God has
I'm going
spoken.
to get beaten later by Joe. You didn't say it enough. But we do it every Wednesday night at 10. It's a lot of fun, and we're having a good time with all the folks. And come and join us. And by all means, well, anybody who wants to come on and talk about it, or if they find a movie they really love, we'll do a deep dive and having all kinds of cool things about it.
Thank you so much, JW. It was good seeing you, pal.
We'll
Take
catch
care.
you
Stay
later.
out of trouble.
Thank you.
I'll absolutely try.
I'm
And
such
I
a
will.
slut.
And I will. Jim, again, thank you. You're as you know, you're one of my favorite people. Actually, everybody on the screen are my favorite people.
I love all these people.
But thank you.
This is family.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being talented. Thank you for being caring with your wisdom. And thank you for just being you, Jim. So thank you for coming on. Jim, is there anything anybody could be looking for you on social media or anything you have coming up that you want to discuss?
No.
Okay. I don't know if you had any conventions or anything.
Yeah, well, there may be one in Chicago later this year, and there's one in Swedesboro, New Jersey in August that I'll be at. And I just wanted to tell you one quick thing. This is strange. I had to go to a funeral yesterday in Harrisburg area, and I met up with my brother, who was also attending the funeral. And he's very friendly with the waitress. We decided we'd go out for lunch afterward. And he said, well, what's your name? And the waitress said, it's Aaron. My name's Aaron. Like E-R-I-N? Yeah, Aaron. So then his daughter, my brother's daughter, was there and said, well, could you take a picture of all of us, when we're ready to go? She said, oh, sure, I'd be happy to do that. And so we were complimenting her on her great attention and her service to us and everything. And she took our picture and it came out great. And we were saying, you do such a wonderful job here. They should name this building, this restaurant after you. And she was all kind of blushing. And I said, they did name a place after you in Washington, D.C. She said, what? And I said, yeah, the Air and Space Museum. And on that note, happy birthday, David. May you have many, many more.
Thank you, my dear friend. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jim. Good night.
He's such a great guy. Speaking of great guys, David, thank you again for always getting my back, always being just a wonderful guest and a great guy. And your Jimmy Stewart impersonation is spot on. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Your talent never ceases to amaze me. Dave, where can people find you, and where can people get info on your Blockbuster film that's about to drop?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under David Howard Thornton. And yeah, Terrifier 2 is coming out in October. The date is going to be announced soon. I don't know if we're going to release it right before Halloween ends or right after Halloween ends, but it's coming around that time. So Mike Myers is going to have some competition this year. So yay. And also I got another one that has not been announced officially yet, but is coming out, I'm believing, this Christmas. Is a Christmas horror film that's based on a very popular Christmas story. I can't exactly tell you who I am playing, but it might make your heart grow 3 sizes. So.
Oh.
Wait a minute! Didn't you do that on stage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't even know that when they cast me. It's like, oh yeah, I have 5 years of experience playing this role, actually understudying the role from like the great Stephen Carl. So it's like, oh, this is an easy transition for me. I know this character very well. But it's done in pure camp, so it's very much like Krampus, where it's like, oh, we know exactly what we are. We're having fun with it. So expect that to hopefully come out this fall. So it depends, if we can get around all the legal issues.
Oh, that is too cool.
Yay for free use.
I can't think of anybody who will do the role more justice. Dave, thank you so much. Yeah. You are awesome, and hopefully we'll be in touch soon.
Yes. You take care. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Dave. Be well. Everybody, David Howard Thornton.
It's good seeing you, Dave.
Y'all take care.
Be well, Dave. And now it's It's the final four plus Scott. Scott, why were you the poor whipping boy tonight? You were sitting there looking like sad, like, oh, I'm being picked on when it was supposed to be Dave's night to get picked on. That's why, you know what, Joe was very kind. He kept Shepis off. She's in the green room chomping at the bit, clawing at the screen.
We'll get Scott smiling. Ready? 1, 2,
Wait a
3.
minute, wait a minute.
Make me gum.
Is he just
I
back there
was
sucking
smiling
on?
through the whole show. I don't know what are you guys talking about.
Oh, we're just
Smiling
teasing.
all day.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Forget
Smiling
about
all
it.
day.
You got like a Richard Lewis thing going on tonight, Scott, which you never have before. That's kind of weird. A young Richard Lewis, not the old decrepit Larry David Richard Lewis that looks like the Crypt Keeper. She needs the shirt. Okay.
That's what she's saying.
What shirt does she need?
Probably that wacky.
No,
choice.
that
I'm
shirt.
Oh,
gonna-
that shirt. Okay. I was thinking that as a poster. I'm sorry. I didn't see the picture. That's why it doesn't
Yeah, I didn't know. I
automatically.
thought it was a shirt.
It doesn't automatically come to me as a shirt. Matt and Libby, my dear friends, where can people find you and your wonderful films that I'm very, very proud to have a small part in one and know of all the other wonderful works you've done?
Tubi, man. Check them out on Tubi, Darkness Waits and Dead Woman's Hollow. And soon to be a movie that it was the first movie that me and Matt worked on together back in 2007. It's never really seen the light of day. It's about hopefully to come on Tubi soon. It's called Brain Wrap. So check that out. I was basically the movie when we were falling in love.
You guys,
as friends, and they made movies, and I was just like, this is my dream. And they showed me that you could actually have it and do it and just surround yourself with your friends and their interests and everything. Like pieces fell into place. And then it wasn't too long after that they let me try to direct my own movies.
And then Libmatic Film was born.
Yeah.
well, I want to thank you
Same
guys.
writer as our other ones.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. What'd you say, hon?
It was the same writer.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I keep stepping on you. Say what you want to say.
Damn it, Dave. Stop interrupting.
John Taylor, the writer director. Sorry, I was just trying to drop the name.
No, I apologize. Can I talk now?
Yes, sir.
Just teasing.
I got to learn to work his mute button better.
I want to thank you guys for close to a decade now. We've been friends, and I consider you guys family. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for coming on and wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you for helping me with Full Moon Fever. Matt, I'm sorry if you have werewolf nightmares, but you were fantastic. And Libby, you blew me away. Thank you again. Make sure you guys check out their movies. They're unbelievably talented. They have I would say they're this generation's David Lynch. They have wonderful, dark, moody characters and just really understand the art of telling stories. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt and Libby, thank you for joining us tonight. And
Thank
I
you.
will hopefully be talking or seeing you guys soon. Be well, and I don't know. That's all I have to say.
See you
Thanks for
guys.
being such a great friend to us all these years too, because you were one of the first people that we met when we were trying to get our movie out, and you have always stuck by us and encouraged us, and it hasn't been an easy road, that's for sure. And I just appreciate your friendship and everything you bring into my life. So
Well, all those good things that you guys get is because you worked hard and because you're talented. So
I got to
you
get
deserve-
better lighting on that. The lighting's really bad now. It was better in the old house, but
You know,
that is the poster. For
I could strangle myself because I just seen these guys and I desperately want a new poster because mine got knocked
Oh,
over and the glass tore it, and it was,
I was
the
so
only.
in my own head that night.
I know.
I forgot giving you one.
I-
Well, you
I
need to
was-
come back down here anyway. You have to bring Mandy down because we are working on a documentary down here, so she's really into what we're working on.
Oh, sweet! That'd be wonderful. You just let us know, and we'll be there with bells on.
And Joe, it's been so long since I've really seen you. Like I see a lot of silver coming.
A lot of blonde.
well, yeah.
Or is it silver?
Well, the Just for Men didn't come in, and I'm actually growing it out to be. Oh, never mind. David
adult?
Letterman for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
A fat David Letterman.
Do it.
Do it.
Scott, so good to see you.
Good to see you guys, man. Thanks for popping on. And
Congrats on Clerks 3, man. Everything looks amazing that's coming out, the little clips and
it's
information
pretty
that
nuts, man.
they're feeding us.
Thank you,
I'm
Kevin.
loving every second of this whole journey.
Joe's
Yeah, it's pretty
distinguished.
bonkers.
Be well, guys.
Right.
See you guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Ah, another birthday show in the books.
And I'm sober.
And I'm sober too. I can't hold my liquor anymore because I'm so old. I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. David, Jim, Matt, Libby, Patty, JW. If I'm missing anybody, please forgive me. I'm old and senile, but thank you, everybody. It was extraordinarily kind of them to come on and wish me a happy birthday. Thank you, Gabe. I want to thank, all kidding aside, I want to thank everybody who watches this show religiously. We have some wonderful, wonderful friends who watch the show. Thank you. We have a good time doing it. We have some really wonderful stuff that some great people and great stories we need to tell on this show. But again, thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. Everybody who came on tonight, thank you. Everybody who watched, thank you, Jeffrey Weissman. You're a great guy. You've been on the show many, many times. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. I want to thank throughout the entire run of the show, all my dear friends who keep coming on, like Brian O'Halloran, Tiffany Shepis, and William Sadler, and Daniel Roebuck, and everybody who comes on and just has a good time with us. Again, thank you for joining us on my birthday show. It made me feel really good to see how many wonderful friends I have and people who stopped on. I know a lot. My dear friend Brian is literally on a plane right now. He wanted to stop on, but he's literally in flight. He had a big show in Raleigh this weekend. I know that Tiffany Shepis wanted to come on, but she's literally flying by the moon as we speak because that's what witches do. And everybody who was kind enough to stop on made me feel really good. We will be. Are we back next week, or is it the week after? I know one of these weekends we're taking off. Oh wait, that's later in August, right?
Yes. The weekend of August 21st, I will be at the convention.
Oh, sweet. I also have some wonderful news about a previous guest. We had Oscar nominee and Golden Globe winner Sally Kirkland on a couple weeks ago. I'm very happy to say that I put Sally and Eric Wilkinson, another great guest of the show, together, and they are going to have the Academy Award nominated film Anna released shortly. So everybody who wants to see her Golden Globe Academy Award nominated film Anna, keep an eye out for it. With that being said, Joe, thank you for always being just a wonderful guy, honestly. Thank you for being a great producer, a great friend. I'm very, very proud of you and what you've done with the network. A lot of there's a lot of stupid shit that has been happening over the years amongst people it's just ridiculous. And you kept it together, and you made a wonderful network with wonderful, wonderful television shows. Someday they're probably going to make a movie about this very stupid network that we all kind of put together. I can't wait to see what handsome son of a bitch they get to play me. But you really deserve all the kudos for doing an absolutely fantastic job. And Scott, I love you like a brother. I would take a bullet for you. I know that you and I have been through a lot of ups and downs together, but it's always ups for me, pal. I think you're the greatest guy in the world. And I mean this more than ever tonight. No man is a failure who has friends. We'll see you guys next week.